Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to the video. What if you guys today is another division video. Today we'll be going over the best marksman rifle build for 1.4. Now we are mainly going to be focusing on DPS, so you can do around 2 million damage every single shot. But if you guys enjoyed the video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and let's get right into this. Alright, now like I said, we are mainly going to be focusing on DPS for this build. Now your toughness might be a little bit low, but in my opinion it really doesn't affect you as much as it did in 1.3, because you guys know in 1.4 the NPCs are a little bit weaker and stuff, so toughness is not really, that majorly important. It's still very important, but it's not, the number one thing to go for. So that's why I said I'm going to be mainly focusing on DPS for this build. Now first thing, you obviously want a decent marksman rifle. You want something with a lot of headshot damage. The higher headshot damage you can find on a marksman rifle, obviously the better, so anything above 160 in my eyes is really good. As the talents go on your marksman rifle, you pretty much want anything with damage, so for example like brutal, so you can get 12% more headshot damage, vicious, 10% critical hit chance. You can actually go for swift in order to reload your weapon a little bit quicker. Ferocious is actually really good to do damage towards the elites. And even competent is actually really good because your damage is increased after using a skill. So these are some of the talents you definitely want to focus on having on your marksman rifle, as they will help you out a lot during, PvE and PvP. Moving to the main part of this video is obviously the build. Now we are going to start off with high ends first, so in my opinion the first one you always want to go for are savage gloves. Now savage gloves in my opinion are always really good whenever you're making any sort of like DPS build, because obviously they will help out with your critical hit chance on your build. So whenever you're doing like a assault rifle DPS build, or SMG, or a marksman rifle build as I'm doing right now, savage gloves are a must. The other high end I would recommend going for is a reckless chest. Now a reckless chest increases your damage by 8%, but unfortunately does increase the damage you take on your character, so it increases by 10%, which is kind of a lot, but when you have around 300 maybe 400,000 toughness, it's not going to be as much, but it might get pretty annoying. Now if you guys play the PTS, you guys know how good Hunter's Faith is. It was still pretty good in 1.3, but it wasn't really that tier 1 gear set. In 1.4 it's actually really good, and I would really recommend using it for most of your builds. Now with this build, the main reason I did go for Hunter's Faith is because of the 3 set bonus. You get pretty much 20% headshot damage. Whenever you're using a marksman rifle, 99.9% of the times you are going to be going for, a headshot. So getting 20% extra headshot damage is actually really good. Also for the 2 set bonus, you get 20% optimal range, which isn't really that necessary, but for marksman rifles it can come in handy. Now in my opinion the 4-piece bonus is not really that good. Now what it does is hitting a enemy with bullet grants you and your group a temporary protection. The further your shot, the more protection. Each group member's protection disappears after getting hit by one hostile bullet. Now in my opinion this is not really good. In your opinion might be really good and might be really useful. But like I said, the main reason I am going with Hunter's Faith is for that headshot damage. You can also go with like a specialized backpack. Now what it does, it adds 200% of firearms and stamina to your skill power. So it pretty much increases your skill power, gets your heals faster and your pulse and stuff like that. So I guess you can go with another high end if you don't want to go for, for Hunter's Faith. But in my opinion, this backpack is not a necessary thing you need for DPS. So like I said, you can either go for this backpack or use for Hunter's Faith with Savage and Reckless. But that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. In the comment section below, let me know what you think of this build. Also, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. But once again, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.